Hello everybody, my name is Sn0wF0x and today we are back with the third part of our Nmap series. And today we are going to finish the Nmap room and let's get started. The NSE scripts overview. The Nmap scripting engine is an incredibly powerful addition to Nmap, extending its functionality quite considerably. As a German, I hate words like this. NSE scripts are written in the Lua programming language and can be used to do a variety of things, from scanning for vulns to automatic exploit for them. The NSE is particularly useful for reconnaissance, however, it is well worth bearing in mind how extensive the script library is. There are many categories available. Some useful categories include safe, won't affect the target, intrusive, not safe, likely to affect the target, vuln, scan for vulns, exploit, attempt to exploit a vuln, auth, attempt to bypass authentication for running services, like log into an FTP anonymously, brute, attempt to brute force credentials for running services, discovery, attempt to query running services for further information about the network, like query an SMMP server. A more exhaustive list can be found here. In the next task, we'll look at how to interact with the NSE and make use of the script in these categories. So, compared to the text we already read in this Nmap series, this was quite easy to understand. What language are NSE scripts written in? In Lua, like we saw here in the top. What category of scripts would be a very bad idea to run in a productive environment? So let's see. Won't affect the target? Nah. Not safe, likely to affect the target? Yes. Scan for vulns? Attempt to exploit a vuln? I guess you already know what the real answer here is. It's intrusive. Working with the NSE. In task 3, we look very briefly at the ---- script switch for activating NSE scripts from the vuln category using ---- script equals vuln. It should come as no surprise that the other categories work in exactly the same way. If the command ---- script equals safe is run, then any applicable safe script will be run against the target. Note, only scripts which target an active service will be activated. To run a specific script, we would use ---- script equals script name or ---- script equals FTP file upload exploiter, etc. Multiply scripts can be run simultaneously at the same time in this fashion by separating them by a comma. Some scripts require arguments, for example credentials, if they are exploiting an authenticated vuln. These can be given with the ---- script -args nmap switch. An example of this would be with the HTTP put script, used to upload files using the put method. This takes two more arguments, the URL to upload the file to and the file's location on disk. For example, then you have here a quite long query. Note that the arguments are separated by commas and connected to the corresponding script with periods. A full list of scripts and their corresponding arguments can be found here. And let's look here. What optional argument can the FTP NSE script take? Let's see if we can find it here. It won't, it will find it. Will it? Here, we have something. What optional arguments can it take? Let's see. What do we have here? It doesn't really show us anything. So let's just Google it. With arguments. I guess we were in the right spot. but the max list would be possible. Okay. Then I guess this is the right answer. Yep, it is. Okay. Search for scripts. This will especially be handy if you're having lots of scripts and you want to search for one specific. Okay, so we know how to use scripts in Nmap, but we don't yet know how to find these scripts. We have two options for this, which should ideally be used in conjunction with each other. The first on the page is the page on the Nmap website. My English today is not the best. Mentioned in the previous task, which contains a list of all official scripts. The second is the local storage on your attacking machine. Nmap stores its scripts on Linux at user share nmap scripts. You know what? Let's do this. Cd user share nmap scripts. What do we have here? All of the scripts. All of the NSE scripts are stored. Can you even see this? I think so. Yeah, you can more or less see it. We have where are we? All of the NSE scripts are stored in this directory by default. This is where Nmap looks for scripts when you specify them. There are two ways to search for installed scripts. One is by using the scriptdb file. Despite the extension, it's actually a database so much of formatted data file containing file names and categories for each available script. Nmap uses this file to keep track of and utilize scripts for the scripting engine. However, we can also grab through it to look for scripts. For example, grab ftp scriptdb. The second way to search for scripts is quite simply to use the ls command. For example, we could get the same result as in the previous screenshots by using ls-l . The same technique can also be used to search for categories of scripts, for example, grep save and so on. And here you learn how you can install new scripts. We mentioned previously that the Nmap website contains a list of scripts. So what happens if one of these is missing in the scripts directory locally? A standard add update add install should fix this. However, it's also possible to install the scripts manually by downloading the script from Nmap. This must be then followed by nmap script update db, which updates the scriptdb file to contain the newly downloaded script. So if you actually have some more scripts that you want to install on Nmap, you can freely install as much as you want. Search for Nmap script in the scripts directory using either one of the demonstrated methods. What is the file of the script which determines the underlying OS of the SAP server? Okay. What do I have here? Let me see. We have here SMB. Okay. Oh, host discovery NSE. This sounds good. I like this. Read through the script. What does it depend on? Okay, let's see. I love it if stuff like this happens. I wonder if this works. Yep, it seems to work. It requires OS state. Okay. Let me quickly see what it means. It means there needs to be something in here which tells us, hey, this is what I need to work. We're gonna take a look at this. Okay, I won't find it right here, but I know the answer from my previous stuff. So I know it's SMB minus pros. I once did this room, so I eventually remember what exactly was the thing. Firewall evasion, and we are almost finished, guys. Only 3 things left, then we are finished with this little series. We have already seen some techniques for bypassing firewalls. Think stealth things also with null, find, and Xmas scans. However, there's another very common firewall configuration, which it's imperative we know how to bypass. Your typically Windows host will its default firewall block all ICMP packets. This presents a problem. Not only do we often use ping to manually establish the activity of a target, Nmap does the same thing by default. This means that Nmap will register a host with the firewall configuration as dead and not bother scanning it at all. So we need a way to get around this configuration. Fortunately, Nmap provides an option for this, -pn, which tells Nmap to not bother pinging the host before scanning it. This means that Nmap will always treat the target host as being alive, effectively bypassing the ICMP block. However, it comes at the price of potentially taking a very long time to complete the scan. If the host is really dead, then Nmap will still be checking and double-checking every specific port. It's worth noting that if you're already directly on the local network, Nmap can also use ARB requests to determine host activity. So, for the sake of your CTFs going well and you're maybe attacking the outside, you should always double check that your server is active and alive. Otherwise, a port scan will take much longer time and eventually fail. This is something that you really need to do. Well, this should be part of the enumeration process, but I guess you know how I mean this. There are a variety of other switches which Nmap considers useful for firewall evasion. We will not go through these in detail, however, they can be found here. The following switches are of particular note. -F used to fragment the packages. An explanation split them into smaller pieces, making it less likely that the packets will be detected by a firewall or IDS. An alternative to -F, but providing more control over the set of the packages, -MTU, accepts a maximal transmission on unit size to use for the packet send. This must be a multiply of 8. So about these MTU parameters, if you're an owner of a PlayStation, you can use the MTU stuff to make your PlayStation go actually faster in the network. I guess it was an MTU of 1500. Then you can actually speed up your PlayStation 4. Just a little fun fact, the more you know. -scan -delay, used to add a delay between the packets sent. This is very useful if the network is unstable, but also for evading any time-based firewall IDS triggers which may be in place. -betsum. This is used to generate an invalid checksum for packets. Any real TCP/IP stack would drop this packet. However, firewalls may potentially respond automatically without bothering to check the checksum of the packets. As such, this switch can be used to determine the presence of a firewall or NDS. This was a bunch of text. Which simple and frequently relied upon protocol is often blocked, requiring the use of the -pn switch. We just had the ICMP block. So it's most likely ICMP. Research. Which Nmap switch allows you to append an arbitrary length of random data at the end of the package? In such cases, I always do this. Copy. Nah, not all. Copy. Wait. Which Nmap switch allows you to append an arbitrary length of random data to the end of packages? Okay, I think it's something with data and length, but let's see. Minus data, minus length. I knew it. It's always like this. Alright, last 2 things. Practical. This is where stuff gets interesting. We need to start the machine first, I think. And we quickly need to connect ourselves to the for stuff like this. What's happening here? I need to quickly connect myself to my very own. I think I'm doing something quite stupid. Ah, there. Again. Don't I have OpenVPN on this computer? Or am I dumb right now? Let me quickly check this. No, it didn't start. Now we're into it. This took a while longer than I expected, but it's eventually okay. So let's see, practical. Does the target respond to ICME ping requests? Doesn't seem like that. Or I'm doing something stupid. No, it actually doesn't respond to ping requests. Perform an XMS scan on the first 999 ports. How many ports are shown to be open or filtered? Let's see. Nmap minus SX minus P minus 1 to 999. Then our IP minus by N. I need root for this. How could I not think about it? Yay, you saw part of my root password. SX minus P 1 to 999 IP PN. Now, how many ports are shown to be open or filtered? Let's wait for the results. This might take a few seconds, so take a coffee or drink something. That's important. Always hydrate yourself if you're doing stuff like this. So, do we have an answer? Let's see. Not yet. There's a reason given for this. What is it? The answer will be in your scan results. Think carefully about which switches to use and read the hint before asking for help. Well, we don't know it yet. This is where the PN parameter kicks completely in. There was something. What the actual fluff? No idea what's going on in the background. Don't ask me. We are going to wait a bit, or I'm going to pause the recording to wait until this here is finished. I don't know what I will do now. One of those two. So we don't know the answer, but I think I know what the next answer will be. But we don't get any response, so let's try this. Ah, correct. We need to wait for this. Perform a TCP SYN scan. How many ports are shown to be open? Let's see. First we're going to source nmap minus x minus p 1 to 99 minus pn minus vp. Oh, my bad. Let's see which of this will eventually be the first one. And there's something that I always do when I do stuff like this. It's actually naming your tabs so that you know what exactly is going on. So, around 3 minutes remain. Okay. Open Wireshark for 1 second. Perform a TCP connect scan against port 18 on the target, monitoring the results. Make sure you understand what's going on. We don't do this here because this video is already long enough and we don't want to have it any more longer. Deploy the FTP anon script against the box. Can Nmap login successfully to the FTP7 port 21? We can definitely check this as soon as our scripts here are done. So, all ports are filtered. This is something. Okay, let's again wait until we have finished here. Or you know what? We can definitely just continue. Nmap minus script FTP minus anon was it, I guess, like this. Oh, I forgot something. Like this. So let's see if we can actually connect to this. Host seems down. Okay, this I guess means no. Oh, I was supposed to make it. Okay. Did I type something wrong? It doesn't seem like this. Let's try again. No, but I think it's supposed to say yes. So, yeah. It takes around 1.5 minutes. We are now going to go to the next thing. You have now completed the further Nmap room. Hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Yes, we definitely did in around 3 parts of this. This is one of the most theory-heavy room of the entire Tryhackme thing, but there will be one room that is even more theory-heavy, and I'm already looking forward to it. But you will need to see and understand how Nmap works. Otherwise, your enumeration process might be a problem. There are other alternatives. That's not a problem, but you want definitely know how Nmap works, how you can understand the result, and so on. Okay, 50 seconds left. Let's make this video 25 minutes left. I see. Okay. So, we have 999, okay, but we have nothing quite, okay, this is strange somehow. According to our stuff here, we don't have anything, but let me tell you, it's 5. And we did it! The Nmap room is officially finished, and we will see ourselves in the next video. See you soon, your dear Sn0wF0x.